Hey everybody, this is Tony, Tainted Lord 87, and welcome to 2025. Happy New Year. And to start off the new year of 2025, I'm going to show off a small little collection update. Just 4 used CDs that I bought recently, and yeah, let's just go straight to it. The first CD that I'm going to show off is from a band that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and that's Nocturnal Hollow in the album The Nuances of Death. Now, Nocturnal Hollow are a death metal band from Venezuela that's been around since 2010, I believe, and this album, The Nuances of Death, is actually the fourth album. So they definitely put out a couple of releases since 2010. But Nocturnal Hollow just plays some whipping, in your face, aggressive HN2 death metal that will instantly remind you of bands like Entombed and Dismember and other countless bands before them that played that HN2 death metal sound. That buzzsaw guitar sound is totally all over this album and it's so damn good. It's heavy, it's aggressive, it's crushing, and yeah, this album and this band will instantly remind you of Dismember. Let me say that again. This band will instantly remind you of Dismember, Entombed, and it's just an absolutely ripping album. If you're into some H&2 death metal that's heavy, aggressive, in your face, and crushingly over the top, I definitely recommend check out Nocturnal Hollow and the album The Nuances of Death. Like this album is just a great example of HN2 death metal done really well. And even though they pretty much copy every other band that's been doing this before them, it's still so damn good. So yeah, that's the first CD. That's the first CD that I'm going to show off. And yeah, definitely check them out. Nocturnal Hollow, The Nuances of Death. Absolutely kick ass album from a kick ass band from Venezuela. Highly recommend them. Okay, the next CD is from a band that caused a lot of controversy recently, mostly because of the lead single. But this is during the heyday before the controversy when this band was like a solid metalcore band. And that's As I Lay Dying in the album The Powerless Rise. Yeah, this is a really solid, aggressive, heavy metalcore album. And a fairly underrated album. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this album, but yeah, this is during like As I Lay Dying's glory days back in 2010, I believe, before the controversy started. And this is just a really solid metalcore album. Some heavy riffs, great leads, some good solos, and some amazing vocals. And yeah, just a really solid metalcore album through and through. And the mellow death influences is obviously here, but you can't go wrong with that if you're into that. And yeah, As I Lay Dying's The Powerless Rise is just a solid metalcore album. Definitely one of the better albums in the discography. And I highly recommend checking this album out, before, you know, all the controversy started. But yeah, definitely reminds you that As I Lay Dying was actually a good band back in the day. But yeah, As I Lay Dying, The Powerless Rise. A really great album. Okay, the next band is a band that I don't really talk about too much. Yeah, I don't really talk about this band too much, but I am a fan of them and I do enjoy their music from time to time. And that's The Cure in the album 413 Dream. Yeah, 413 Dream by The Cure. Yeah, this is just a really relaxing, atmospheric, laid back goth rock album with some goth punk influences here and there, at least to my ears. And this would be the last album they would release back in 2008 before coming back years later with the new one that came out this year, Songs of a Lost World. But if this was the final last album, I think they went out with a bang because this is actually a really good album. Like I said, this album, this album right here is more um atmospheric, laid back, a very easy listen, and definitely has a mix of goth punk. No, not goth punk, goth pop. Yeah, a good mix of goth pop and goth rock music. But it's a really good album. I really enjoy this album. So yeah, if you're a fan of The Cure, I definitely recommend check out 413 Dream. A really good album from them if you're into like goth rock or goth pop music in general. I really like this one. So that's The Cure, 413 Dream. And the last CD that I'm going to show off in this collection update is from a gothic metal band that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and they're really short lived. They only released 2 albums, and this one is the second one, and they're very, very underrated. And that's the Sins of Thy Beloved, in their second album, Perpetual Desolation. Yeah, this is the second album to the first album in 1998 called Lake of Sorrow, and The Sins of Thy Beloved is just a really solid gothic metal band from Norway that was really short lived, in my opinion. They only released 2 albums, and they started back during the late 90s up to the mid 2000s, I believe. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about this band, but if you're into some really, really good gothic metal, I highly recommend checking out The Sins of Thy Beloved in the album Perpetual Desolation. Like this album has like a violin sound that really dominates this album and takes the songs to new heights. But also this album also mixes like female vocals with these male shrieky harsh vocals that in my opinion works with the music. It does add more depth to it, along with the violin, like I mentioned before. So yeah, the violin and vocals help make this album stand out more than your typical gothic metal album, in my personal opinion. And yeah, The Sins of Thy Beloved, Perpetual Desolation is a solid gothic metal album, and I definitely recommend checking out this band and this album if you're into some really solid gothic metal from the early 2000s. A really great find, and I'm really glad to pick this one up. And that's everyone. That's my small little collection update. Not sure not sure what's going to happen in 2025 if I will continue making videos. Hopefully I would. Hopefully I will, but who knows, but hopefully 2025 would be good for everyone, and I hope for the best for everyone in 2025. And leave a comment down below and let me know what you think, and hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. So thanks for watching, and have a good 2025, everyone. Goodbye for now.